All right, quick thing before we start. This isn't, if you don't golf, don't click away yet. This isn't no PGA Tour breakdown. This isn't none of that. This is about life, frustration, patience, and why a little white ball ruins my mood, but I keep coming back. So, how you're actually doing with golf right now? How am I actually doing with golf right now, you might ask? Is I I don't even suck consistently. See, like one hole I'm like, oh, I got it, and then the next hole, oh my gosh, I'm questioning every decision I made. Like I hit a round at Coronado's golf course, Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. It's a 9-hole course, so it's perfect for your short game. Um, let's break it down a little bit. So I was, we're at the range, my buddy and I, Grant. He's also on another podcast called Sober Not Sober. He's a one of the co-hosts. Him and I, we always golf, and lately it's just been. I'll be honest. I've been slacking. I've not been going to the range as much. I've not been going on rounds as much as him. Like my consistency with it, not a priority as it should be as like my gym priority. But the fits be dripping. But we went on a round. We did worked on our chipping first, putting. All the good stuff. And then we grabbed a small bucket, worked on some clubs just to get warmed up a little bit, and it was smooth. It was smooth sailing. Things were going in the right direction, and we went up to hole one. Hole one teeing off. It's don't know the yardage, but it's like a par four. Start off with grab my 4 iron, and it's crazy how during the range, I'm like, oh, I got this. Everything was clicking, everything was smooth, and hole one teeing off, I got it. That was good. Second shot though, questioning everything. Usually I thin things, but today I just full on got under it too much. I just full on just like I left it so short. But my putting though, my putting's dialed. He even says if you ask him, my putting is dialed in. My putting, my tempo, my speed, at least for Arizona greens, they're not like no like 11s or 12s or whatever. But there was some breakage, but my speeds are there. The motivation, gym motivation, golf motivation, it's kind of compare contrast is that both of them, it fades, but just motivated, like I don't want to say motivated, but just the intentions of I want to improve. I want to get better. And the only way to get better is to keep playing, is to keep going out and doing rounds or going to the range for just to critique yourself and just work on minor tweaks of your swing or your game. Golf, and now I've picked up baseball. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say in the comments. Why? Both sports, totally different swing, totally different mechanics. One's going up, one's going. You're swinging down on one, you're swinging up on another. Like, what are you doing? But I'm not trying to go pro. I'm not trying to be. I'm amateur, maybe, not really. I'm 26 and just want to golf just because I like golfing. Because it's something that I put so much time into of actually getting to a point where I'm pretty decent. I make solid contact. I'm consistent most of the time. And I was like, hey, baseball, let's do it. Let's see if I can perfect this as well. Baseball's a lot harder. Same thing. Bigger ball, a little bigger ball, but it's still the speed. You're like, with a golf ball, it's on the ground. It's stationary. A baseball, it's moving. So far, I've not encountered like a curve, knuckle, whatever. Cause like I probably swing and miss, mainly fastballs. But that's what the batting cage is. But I like it because it's something that's gonna challenge me to get better at that sport as well. Because oh my gosh, let me just tell you, in the beginning of my golf journey, I was getting frustrated. I wanted to quit so many times, throwing the towel, like this is not my sport. This is not my sport. Going to like grass greens, grass driving ranges, and just obliterating the grass. I was that guy that, if you go to a range and you see like massive divots, massive craters, that was me. That was me. I'm gonna be completely honest. That was how I used to play. Is I would just chop it, and just crater after crater. And I'm seeing at one time, I had an old man say, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, you need to leave. Like, you're not. You're doing more harm to other golfers by creating craters in the ground instead of like small divots, small brushes. And I'm like, damn, I have an older man telling me that I suck, basically. Humbled me real quick. So I'm like, damn. And he's old. He was old. And he was flushing shots, pure shots of just hit. Like you hear the ball hit the clubs, and you're like, he's hitting the center of the face. And an angle I want to take is that that golf guilt. I want to be better, but if you don't practice enough, you won't get better. Let me rephrase that. We always want to like get better at something, but the only way to get better is to keep playing, is to keep doing it, stay consistent with it, right? Because if we're consistent with it, over time, we'll get better at it. And I realized that when I first started, bad. Now, like a year, 2 years into it, moderate. I'm able to know how to hit a ball. I'm able to like correct my stance, and it's working. It's working in the right directions. But yes, the amount of good shots I have compared to the bad, slim. The bad shots outweigh the good shots, but when I hit those pure shots, I come back. Because what happens is it's the same thing as sports, other sports. You gotta have a short-term memory, like a short span memory of you hit a bad shot, you gotta lock in. You can't go up to your ball after your first shot if it was like a duff or a chunk or just a bad shot. You can't go to that shot, your next shot, with the mentality of first shot, second shot was bad. This one's gonna be bad. You gotta erase everything. You gotta, just put it in the back burners and just forget about it. And it's like football. For example, you throw an interception, throw a pick six, they score a touchdown. The defense, you're gonna be back out in like 30 seconds. You gotta erase that bad play out of your head and not get in your head. Golf, oh my, it's a mental game. And that's why it's so brutal. For an average golfer like me, like I said, one bad shot, it stings. It stings a lot because you know what you're capable of doing, but you still do it, and it's tough. Oh, let's get into it. So, the mental game in golf, like there's two different golfers out there. You'll see. There's the ones that play angry and the ones that play loose. I used to play angry. Right? You would think like, no, he would not play angry. Like he has calm, cool collectiveness. He's cool. I don't know if you think I'm cool, but yeah. But I would literally play with the intentions of smacking the balls as hard as I could with any club. Like I was like Happy Gilmore. I wanted to just crush the ball. While my buddy played loose, played like he's off, you know, didn't smack the crap out of the ball. He played his clubs like they were supposed to play their clubs, and his yardages for all his clubs are a lot more spread out. My clubs back then, terrible. I would smack my pitching wedge probably 150, and then my 9 155, and then my 6 205. But like now that I've actually, moral of the story, I've turned down playing angry. I've turned it to more playing loose, having fun, enjoying my time out on the rounds, enjoying my time on the courses, seeing beautiful courses that I play, playing with friends, playing with family members, or playing with people that randoms that just we're having fun. And, like, we're not going pro. Like, I was going pro, and like it was every day, every tournament is it's a make or break. Those moments, but it's not that. I'm paying, so I should have fun with it as well as get a decent score. But I've come to realize once I've come to reflect that when I was playing angry, chunking more, topping more, out of bounds balls more, and just slicing more. When I've played more loose, like I have been playing for the last probably 3 months, 3 to 6 months, my yardages are more where they're supposed to be. I feel more confident looking down at the ball, and I feel more, relaxed instead of tensed. Because I'm a bodybuilder, and bodybuilding golf don't really mix because, dense muscle, and I'm so stiff, so I need to do yoga or something to like help me with that. But yeah, playing loose has made my game a lot better. And playing loose also has helped me like keep my patience, keep my cool. Of like hitting a bad shot, so be it. Erase it, on to the next. I would overswing my overswing. I would overthink swing thoughts. What is that, you might ask? It's basically when you're overthinking everything. You're overthinking the outcome of, let's say it's a par four, par five, or par five. No, par four. No, par three. Par three would be better. Perfect example. So par three is basically it should take 3 shots to the hole. If it takes more, you get a punishment. Basically, it's just that I'm doing it, but I would stand up to my ball, overthink. Oh my gosh, is this the right club? Is this the right yardage? Don't overchunk. Don't overswing. Don't overcommit. All the X, Y, and Z. All like the negativity in my head. And you know what happened most of the times? I would either top it or I would slice it right. Instead of being confident, stand up to my ball and say, "You got this." Like this is light work. This is easy. You've done this shot so many times, and when you've done that shot so many times, you didn't think. You just moved. You just let them. You just motion. Just relax. You know what you're supposed to do. You're capable of doing it. And that's what I did. I stopped overthinking swing thoughts. I started to just go up to my ball, have my homeboy tell me the yardages, give me somewhat advice of what club to pick out, do some sort of shot with it, and that's it. I would stand to my ball, count down from 10. If it took longer, I would reset, stand away from my ball, compose myself, and go back into the shot, and 10-second shot clock, and then hit it again. And I would actually hit pure shots. But the best rounds, for me at least, this could be a hot take for me, are the rounds I don't care. And that probably sounds terrible. Like, you don't care. What do you mean don't care? It's the rounds where I'm not overthinking, I'm not playing angry, and it's the rounds that I'm literally 10-second shot clock, playing for fun, playing with enjoyment and excitement. If like I'm out here on a cool course, enjoying my time, and if I hit a bad shot, hit a bad shot, but don't ruin it for other people. And I've seen some golfers, some randos in my groups, smacking clubs, throwing clubs. I'm like, dude, chill out. We're not trying to start a case. But golf is literally life in a way, because you tend to mess up once, you dwell on it, and it affects everything afterwards. Instead of having that thought of learn from it, learn from the mistakes, learn from the lessons, and move on. The golf culture, though, it is pretty wild. There are dudes. There are dudes who bring 14 swing thoughts to the tee box. I was one of them. Like I said, I would say, don't slice, don't overcommit. Am I too far back? Am my arm straight? And now, different. Now I literally black out. I was talking to my buddy about that, Grant. We are like, quick question: when you hit off the tee box, do you like black out for a second? Like, I'm like, hold up, I think you're onto something. Like literally, at my tee box, I'm just zoned in. Like don't hear a noise. Every time I swing, I literally black out for like a second, and then I like somehow like am back in my body. It's crazy. He does the same thing. Like we both swing great shots, and I'm like, what just happened? And then we look for a ball, and we find our ball. There's always gonna be the guy who always shoots around 85. That's amazing. I'm not that guy. I've not shot a low. I shot a high 80 once, but I usually shoot consistently like 94, 93, 94s. Hey, I'm okay with that. I broke 100, and I'm okay with that. But I want to break 80 next, and that's my goal. But to get to that, I need to be more consistent. Obviously, I need to hit the range. I need to hit rounds by myself, and just play the game more and more and more. There are the range heroes, and there are the course disasters. We're going to explain that. And that basically means the range heroes are, people who are at the range. I used to be this phenomenal, flushing shots at the range, flushing everything, swing was amazing, balls were pure, hitting every shot how I wanted to hit it. And then there's the course disasters. Basically, whatever was at the range did not somehow plug in on the course. And you start to top, start to thin, start to chunk, start to lose balls left and right. And you think, what is happening? My range sessions are phenomenal, but my rounds are like terrifying. And it comes with, because I used to do this, it comes with, not having that pressure. Because with the range, it's a perfect lie every time. Unless you go to like the SoFi TGL golf and simulation thing. Or probably there's some probably indoor simulations that, fix the ground to your elevated lies. Elevated or under elevated. That's probably not a word, but lower lies. But with most range, it's just either grass or it's literally just a mat. And it's the same follow through swing every time. When you're on a course, you could be in a divot. You could have a mud ball. You could have the worst scenarios could happen, and you gotta bounce back and figure out what to do. That's why it's called course disasters. It's just, you don't know the outcome, what's happening. It's all different. It's, you can't predict the unpredictable. And that's how golf is. If you go in with the mindset of predicting every shot of it's going to be on the perfect lie, you're setting yourself up for failure. I fall into this one, the golf fits, the gloves, the shoes, and, the clubs. You think those are going to fix your swing. Hot take. Fit, I 100% feel like the fit, if your fit is, spot on, your game's better. You're going to be phenomenal. A new glove, crisp, buttery. And some good spiked Golf shoes, like the old timers, the dress shoe looking like ones. Oh, chef's kiss. You look the part. And I feel like, I don't know, this could just be me, but you play better. I'm gonna say that right now. You play better. But the thing that I think is a hot take is clubs. You could have Goodwill clubs, and I think you could still beat me. I could have Goodwill clubs, and I could be pretty good with them. Technology is going to be less advanced than the newer technology of clubs, but clubs are clubs. Work with what you have. And if you need the 2026, the new models of TaylorMade or Pings or Strixons or any kind of club, you're just wasting money. Unless you have the money to do it. But come on, us average golfers, I don't think we got time to spend $1,200+ on fitted clubs. Like work with what you got. I play with Kirkland clubs, and they work. They work with me. I play with my buddies' club sometimes, and I know how to work with them too. It takes a little time to get used to, but hey, I know some people are superstitious of clubs. They need to play with their own clubs. I don't think I need to do that. I can play with any kind of club. Write in the comments for me to pick out clubs. I'll play with them one round. I'll go to Goodwill. I'll do a Goodwill episode of picking clubs, pick them out, use them out of course, and see if I can break 100. But yeah, and then the progress you can't see. The progress you can't see is you're getting better, but your scorecard doesn't show it. And what I mean about that, let's dive deeper into it. What I mean you're getting better is that, first shot's not a chunk. First shot's not a top. First shot, out of tee box, you're actually getting it in the fairway. It's just those smaller, minor mistakes that your short game's not good or your fairway game's not good. Your second or approach shots aren't the best, but your putting's good. Or it could be the opposite. Your tee shot's amazing, your approach shot's good, but your putting sucks. And that's where you got to dive down and look down deep, dig deep, and say, this is what I got to get better at to get more consistent, to get better scores. I've come to realize that some scores of mine, they're terrible. But I know I'm progressing because I do less mistakes in times where I'm more aware of what I'm doing wrong. And I correct them. Like my putting right now, I would say it's probably my best part of my game right now, my putting. I can read the breaks good for an average golfer. My worst is probably my driver still. Tee off is it's not consistent always. Second shots, chips, getting better again, but I've been not keeping it priority, so they're slacking. I saw it today, first round back, not the best. Better contact, smarter decisions, and fewer blowups. So this is another important key. That your progress you can't see. Better contact. You will know when you have good contact. You will hear that ting on a club of you hitting the sweet spot. Smarter decisions. This is a big one. I think a lot of beginner golfers, they play too aggressive, which I'm not saying don't play aggressive, but they play too aggressive. I've used to play so aggressive of shoot for the green when there's water literally like 50 yards in front of the green. Instead of playing, the smart decision of layup, I would not. And what would happen is, hit in the water or hit a bad shot that was overshot, overkilled, or undershot because I was like, if I do this shot, this is what's going to happen. Instead of playing smarter of if there's a dog right, dog left, I go for the punch shot first, a layout, try to get good yardage. So try to keep it still a good amount of yards to leave me a good amount of yardage for the hole as well. But I don't play aggressive as much anymore, unless it's it comes down to the line of like par threes. You know, smarter decision that my buddy taught me is no matter what, aim for the middle of the green. You have a better shot of making a putt than you do have a chip. Because he's seen my chipping before. It's not the best. Mine's not the best. He told me that straight up. And I was like, hey, you're right. Aim for the middle of the green every time. So if that's clubbing up, club up. Just do a soft swing. And that's what I've been doing. And that's what I did today. Is I literally was like, I could go for it. I could do it. I know I can do it. But why don't I just club up and do a softer swing and just have the club do the rest of the work and not my body? Fewer blowups. I'm not, smacking the ground, not losing my cool. I'm now, just content. I had a bad shot, move on. It is what it is. That's how it should be. If the pros can stay cool, calm, cool, collective most of the time, I should be able to too. It's the same concept as the gym business content life. Same thing, some days for the gym, we're pushing weight. And the next week, we're not pushing the same weight as we did the week before. And we're always hard on ourselves, like, what the heck? What's happening? And other days, we're crazy. We're like Hulk. And then, content. There's some days where you're like, what the F? I thought I was hitting every mark that I was supposed to be hitting to make my video go up. But you're progressing is when you start to see its snowball effect coming in. Everything comes in. But yeah, golf definitely teaches patience in a world that, just wants instant results. You gotta be patient. You gotta keep your cool. Because at some point, that patience is gonna reward you. I completely believe that. Why I'll never quit golf. Why I will never quit golf. Reason number one, when you hit that pure shot, you want to hit it again. It's addicting. It's you fiend for those. The good holes, par threes, you're 2 feet from the hole. You could have holed out, made a hole in one, or you hit a fairway finder and you're like, this is amazing. This is what I'm talking about. Being outside, walking, driving the cart, just disconnecting with your buddy and just, talking about golf, talking about life, and just how you guys are doing, how we're doing, like what's going on in your life, what's going on in my life, and just communicating, vibing, and just enjoying the time for 2 to 4 hours on a golf course. Because golf is technically therapy without calling it therapy. You're out there, buddy hits a bad shot. Hey, what did you do wrong? In a good way. What did you do right? Focus on the good. Don't focus on the bad. Says the same thing to me. And it's just like, what are you thinking through that swing? Don't think. Just block that out. On to the next. But if you golf, you get it. If you don't, now you understand why us golfers are addicted to this game. But I appreciate you guys for listening. New episodes every week. This is the JP Podcast. And again, like, subscribe. Comment your worst golf moment. Comment if you want any more golf stories. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys on the next one.